I entitled this essay, "This Old Gun." I found myself in my family's dusty garage with an old German handgun sitting in my hands. It was simplistically sleek and slender. The barrel was skinny in contrast with the large handle. It looked almost sinister. I found myself asking questions that would have unsettling answers. What kind of gun was this? Was it ever fired? What kind of a man would carry it? The gun was a German Luger from World War II and had been undoubtedly issued to a German officer. A German officer, and only a German, would have carried this gun into combat with him. If an Allied soldier were found with one of these guns by the Germans, he'd be killed on sight instead of being taken to a prisoner of war camp. No exceptions. My thoughts and theories concerning this gun swirled around in my mind, leaving me to contemplate the question, what is courage with honor? Honor, on paper, is a form of praise given to one who has earned it in the eyes of those he has served. From a moral viewpoint, honor is integrity in one's beliefs or actions. Believing in what you are doing is honor. Fighting truly for the cause to which one is committed is true honor. What if the German officer who used this gun was only going through the motions of what the Nazi regime demanded of him? What if he found Germany's actions to be horrible and desperately wanted to be rid of his duties? The answer is that he was an officer. He was proficient enough in going through the motions that he was honored for it. This man was honored for actions that he may have considered to be loathsome and unjust. He was courageous enough to have faced his appointed enemy. Picking up a gun and facing an army of enemies whose mission is to kill you takes a lot of courage. But he wasn't courageous enough to defy crimes against humanity. If he detested the regime's goals, then he wronged people whom he considered to be innocent in order to earn the rank that came with this gun. If he supported the Nazi cause, then the honors his German brethren presented to him were rightly given, but were for horrifying deeds. Surely, a man who kills those whom he considers innocent is dishonorable, no matter how many medals his superiors pin to his jacket. And a man who wholeheartedly helps conduct crimes against humanity lives without a shred of honor to his name. The gun that was sitting in my hands was used for horrific deeds, forever tainted by this German officer's actions. My mind tossed and turned, pondering the history of the gun I held. This gun I held, how did it find its way into my hands? I recalled the stories of Allied soldiers punished severely for being found by the Germans with one of their prized handguns. "How did you get here?" I asked the dark metal contraption. I later found that it was brought back home by a British soldier and was passed into my family's hands. Like the German soldier, I knew practically nothing of the British soldier who brought this gun home. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear, according to Ambrose Redmoon. On the same battlefield as the German officer, a young British soldier was fighting against a regime that was persecuting innocent people and destroying the cultures of the nations it conquered. Both men were trained to face their enemy in battle, but only one was fighting to preserve freedom and democracy. The young soldier of Britain held a form of courage so deep that he was able to fight next to his brethren against an astounding enemy of humanity. Where the German officer must explain himself and his questionable actions, the British soldier had already explained his courage and honor with praiseworthy actions. Regardless of how the British soldier found the gun, he'd surely know the consequences for getting caught with this thing, but he still took it. Fear would be nipping away at the soldier's mind, telling him not to take the gun, that it wasn't worth it, or that he'd be killed on sight if he were found by one of the Germans with this gun. The British soldier resolved that taking this gun was more important than giving into fear and hiding for his life from the threats of the Germans. The memorabilia, he thought. needed to be taken home for his loved ones to see, so they would understand the conviction he fought for and the sins he battled against. Is the opportunity to teach a man's loved ones the importance of the cause he backed more important than giving in to the fear of his own demise? The gun I was holding, with its long and sleek barrel, large handle, and fully functional trigger, was passed down to me by an honorable man who wanted to teach my family that tyranny will never triumph over the good of mankind. 2 men entered the battlefield of World War II, and only one could truthfully say that he had wholeheartedly fought for a truly just cause on that battleground. The soldier who gave this gun to my family was truly an honorable man, defending an honorable cause. The honor that now lives in this gun is not the honor that any general could bestow upon anyone. It is the honor that lives in a man who truly believed in the role he played between the struggle between good and evil. The courage to face the gun, and the German officer holding it, then to have taken it home to teach his loved ones the power of what he fought for, answers the question, what is courage with honor?